So we'll pick the next one, which is comes as Agrahya Shashvata Krishno Lohitaksha Pratardanaha Prabhutta Strikakubdhama Pavitram Mangalam Param. Agrahya, or one who cannot be grasped by other faculties of comprehension. Senses, mind, and intellect are our only instrument of comprehension. They are, however, designed to understand only the world. They only sense what is in front of them. They are not capable of comprehending what is supporting them from behind. Therefore, the Lord cannot be understood by our instruments of comprehension. He is that ultimate reality. Kenopanishad expresses this fact thus: that one which cannot be seen by eyes, but due to which the eyes are able to see, know it as Brahman. Take the next one. Goes as Shashvata, or one who is eternal. Upanishad says that Lord Vishnu is Shashvatam, Shivam, Achyutam, eternal, auspicious, and undecaying. Lord Vishnu is Sat. He is the Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat exists eternally, and there is no non existence of Sat. Lord Vishnu is the only Sat who cannot be understood in the three possible times of past, present, and the future. Everything else is false. Mithya, false, is what depends on Satya for its existence. Satya does not depend on anything for its existence. I'll take the next one, which is Krishna, or who is dark blue in complexion. Lord Vishnu is described in the scriptures to be dark blue in complexion. Because of his dark blue complexion, the Lord is called Krishna. He came down as Krishna in the Krishna Avatara. Kri also means existence. Na is bliss. Lord Vishnu is both existence and bliss. Hence, he is Krishna, because Krishna is of the form of bliss. He had a great divine charisma which attracted innumerable devotees. We'll try to go a little deeper into Agrahya, where it says one who cannot be grasped by our faculties of comprehension. Yes, to fathom the sense world, right? We palp the world around us through our senses. We touch and see. If you close your eyes, you have to touch and feel the table around. If you're in the darkness, you you move your fingers around an object to fathom what that object could be. Is it the glass of water or the bottle of water? You're looking in the dark. Such things is what you use in your senses in one way or the other in order to perceive and palp the world around us. But there is another dimension to this world which are not measurable through our senses. And here is the hints that is given about what lies beyond our senses, and that they're saying is the agrahya. He is unfathomable, unpalpable. Now that, yeah, in some way you could just accept it, but if you go into this other world of science too, and I keep bringing science in many ways because we are attempting to apply a degree of rationality, a sense of questioning mind, and trying to approach and see, do science even find such a situation where it is not questioning, or when it questions, what happens. So here we are looking at agrahya, and the picture here is attempting to paint something that the Bohr's atom model came up with, right? So initial world was the Newtonian world of physics, where there was force, mass, acceleration, velocity, and I think he came up with force and the relationship between mass and the acceleration that went onto each object, and with many new discoveries of science, they came up that yes, in a given material that we palp in our worlds, there also seems to be something that's not palpable to our senses, and that they studied through the phenomenon of how the light and the particles behaved, where Bohr came up with the notion that yes, I believe there are atoms. Were they happy with that? Did they accept it? No, science is always questioning. So they questioned further, and with those, as they penetrated more and studied the atoms, what did they find? They found that there are electrons, and there is something called the nucleus. There too, they didn't stop. They further mined in and found that no, the nucleus is actually a mix of something what you could call the proton neutron body together. Did they stop at that? No, they perceived further and they found particles. How many particles? Hundreds of them. So, with each, as Einstein said, we have come to that front of science that with each finding of a known, we are extracting an unknown. And of course, that perception continues. So, first they said, oh, give me like a 20-meter Hadron Collider. That's the image that we find here about what the plans for implementing a particle collider. And here you have the PS that started with the SPS, the LHC, which is the Hadron Collider, Particle Collider, and now there are bigger ones that are fathom saying, give me one more, I'll measure it. Give me another big circle, I will measure it, and put circle around the god itself, right? Something on those. Figuratively, we could imagine about agrahya, which is how it becomes unfathomable and something of a similar nature, the rational world of science that we have come to accept in our knowledge and minds and faculties, that no, science is way better than religion. Yes, definitely. And we are trying to apply some of those similarities where the languages that religion finds is also seen within the science world too, where you cannot fathom some of the things. And as Einstein said, you only are extracting one unknown from a known. Let's also now get to Krishna, and here I would perhaps focus on Kri in the existence, Na in bliss. So the part that is brought through here are the two facets of humanity, the existence and bliss. On the existence front, we as humanity have become the best among its species to tame the external nature. We have done this through scientific discoveries and innovations, similar to those sciences that helped humanity to conquer and dominate the external nature. We also need a science to conquer our inner nature too. The Hindu system and the Vedantic system provides us with the complete funding of knowledge and wisdom to excel in this facet of humanity, I would call the internal nature. An approach the Hindu system or the Vedantic system has offered us is the koshas or the sheaths of human existence. So here we have the different koshas, the Annamaya or the physical body that is the formation of the nourishments we receive and have access to. But this physical body relies upon the psychic body, the manomaya. So the psychic body that we call in English as healthy mind is a healthy body, or a healthy body leads to a healthy mind. Now, this manomaya or a healthy psyche is driven by the vijnanamaya, the ability to apply wisdom, or your discretion of what is right and what is wrong. Let's say you hear something or you say something and that would have left you upset, or your manomaya, your manas is disturbed. Why? Because we did not use our discretion to speak or act, and then we suffer And that suffering, what does it do? It bubbles all the way up, leading to loss of appetite. Or in some way, the Manomaya bubbles up all the way into your Annamaya Kosha, the loss of appetite there. So this Vijnanamaya is supported by Pranamaya, the life force energy. And to me, it's the culmination, the Pranamaya is the culmination of the God's energy that we studied earlier. The combination of the Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic, right? So those is what we studied earlier, and that Pranamaya Kosha could be the culmination or the amalgamation of all that. Now, the very essence of human existence is called as Anandamaya, or we all are the product of happiness and joy. The deepest of the koshas is the Anandamaya, which essentially says we are the product of happiness and joy. And the direction to the human evolution, Vedanta says, is Anandamaya, gaining complete fulfillment. So in this path of evolution, we have but acquired certain defects, right? As we evolved into in our human evolution, right? If the path of evolution is this Anandamaya, we have a living life, and through that living life, we have acquired certain defects. So the challenge on humanity is to make that correction. Something like a wrong map we picked in our treasure hunt, and now we find that it's wrong. It hasn't taken us to the place we intended to, so we need to correct course. So the earlier we do this course correction, the lesser is our fatigue. The course correction here is different. This is something like a block of stone, but within that stone is a beautiful idol, a vigraha, and our task is to unveil it. So here we have Angelo, the celebrated as one of the greatest sculptors, and he says this: the sculpture is already in the marble block. The sculpture is already there in the marble block. I just have to chisel away the superfluous material. So, to us too, the job on us right now is we have to chisel away those factors. Chisel away those factors that are masking our real nature. The fulfilled man or woman is the real nature, and we have to chisel away those excess that's masking, those factors that are masking us. So here too, let's come and appreciate this Anandamaya Kosha that we are understanding from Krishna, right? The bliss and the existence, right? So what's another philosopher says about this human aspiration or human purpose? Here we placed an argument saying the direction of human evolution is fulfillment. Yes, there are so many thought leaders that have gone into it. So what does this other philosopher say, another thought leader? So Aristotle is one of the philosophers here that whose writing we're going to attempt and appreciate what he thinks about human evolution. So Aristotle writes this in his book, I think if I'm pronouncing it right, Nicomachean Ethics. Right, ethics is a good living. Nicomachean Ethics. This is a guide to his own son Nicomachus. So in this, the paragraph that I'd extracted from the book, it reads as: happiness is that state of mind in which men realize themselves and flourish best. Right, that state of mind, you have realized, you become really true yourself, and you flourish best. But flourishing best, you do what? This life that has come to flourish, it consists of a life of intellectual activity. So that means you're not harming someone, you really are engrossed in something very developmental in nature rather than destructive in nature. You're contributing into the society, you're shouldering the needs of others as well. So that is what the state of happiness he talks of. But again, he puts an argument. Is it not too godlike for mere mortals to sustain? That is, being in the state of happiness, is it not too godlike? So he says, no. Again, all these he's writing to his son. No, for we must not listen to those who urge us to think human thoughts, since we are humans. Right? Don't think, someone says you're thinking too much, it's too wild a dream beyond your capacity. So he warns there. So if there's someone telling you that, no, for we must not listen to those who urge us to think human thoughts, since we are humans, and mortal thoughts, since we are mortals. Rather, we should, as far as possible, immortalize ourselves and do all we can to live by the finest elements in us. In other words, realize the very bliss in us, the Anandamaya Kosha, the source of all bliss, is what Socrates is also telling to his own son, Nicomachus. Same language we find in the Vedanta as well, where it's cited here. Of course, I've got only the first line somehow showing up on the screen, but I'll try to read that through. Amritaschaiva mrityuscha. Amritaschaiva mrityuscha. Vayam dehe pratishtitam. Mrityu apadyate mohat. Satyena apadyate amritam. Amritaschaiva mrityuscha. So there is both the mortal and the immortal portion in the human body. Vayam dehe, in this body exists both the mortal and the immortal portion. That's what I feel very intriguing and very uplifting in thought, which is the God like existence is there inside you. So, to the fact that Aristotle talks about, is it not too godlike? It says, yes, don't listen to that. And it says, Amritaschaiva mrityuscha. Yes, both are there. It's your choice which you want to follow. You want to do a godlike life or a mortal life. Mrityunapadyate moha. If you choose the mortal life, you will lead to moha, delusion, which means you'll go left, you'll go right, you'll go behind. Anyone calls, you'll be going there. Moha, which is attraction to anything that shows up. And satyena apadyate amritam. You seek for the truth, and then you are put into the direction of fulfillment. So that opens up a big other line of thought. I'll try to see if we can go and make a journey to that. So with the condensation of our elements, our thoughts and psyche into the Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss element in us, we grow such charisma within us and develop a sense of Titiksha or forbearance. Once we gain this forbearance, we are able to take criticism. Our wisdom grows in accommodating others in our lives. We reduce dictating on others as to how they should lead their lives to the values we profuse. So, with this forbearance or titiksha, we can consume the noise from outside, the disturbance from outside, and you are not disturbed by what people may tell you or may wrongly accuse you or anything that is unreasonable to you. So there's a French psychologist who also endorses this by saying you need to have a fixed interior milieu. You need to have a fixed interior milieu to have a condition of free life. Which means if there is an external steadiness you see in a person, then it must emanate from a steady source, so that these external forces can be managed. So this forbearance or titiksha can occur when you have that inner ananda or the steadiness. Only through such stability can we bring forth any kind of good and steady work. If not, you will be in the grasp of other external energies that will control you. You have seen people running out after everything that lifts its head. Something what our millennium calls the FOMO or fear of missing out. We men and women without direction can be the source of much tension, much sorrow, and unfulfillment. Such men and women can project the same onto the society they live in, which infuses the society with rotting maladies. But here we have the perfect remedies to all these maladies, a clear direction of discovering and condensing ourselves into a body of fulfillment, or the Anandamaya Kosha. Many religions too assure you of a post-mortem heaven. All human achievements are postponed, right? All human achievements are after life or after the existence. Here we are recognizing that that kind of religion and beliefs are not assurance to a living human life and human excellence. Nothing, nothing, my friends, can be accomplished after the lapse of existence or after death. The fulfillment has to be found within the sheaths of existence, well before it has lapsed. So here, Krishna as a name here is taken as both existence and bliss, the physical part as well as the inner or the internal Anandamaya or the bliss part, the two facets of human life and evolution to excellence. Thank you, my friends.